Welcome back, Juventini, to the Juventini Tab, back to Black and White Podcast. My name's Daniel Anigro, and I'm live from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Today, we're going to be covering the preview of Juve-Ferencvaros with a brand new guest, another person who's reached out, which I like to hear and I like to see because it just shows that we're getting new guests, new opinions, and from a variety of ages. So it's pretty cool that bringing Davide on now twice, and we've had one other of his friends coming on. It's nice to see now someone else coming on. So that's always great to see. We get back into the Champions League again after no short order. It seems like the schedule is condensed, but we're just getting back into what the normal would be after a long kind of COVID slug fest throughout the whole year. So we're gonna have a nice we'll have an international break, and that'll be kind of nice for me. Possibly less videos back to back to back. So give me a little bit of a nice break. But without further ado, just wanted to bring on our next guest, Maldeini from Windsor, Ontario, another fellow Canadian. Awesome. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem, man. And I appreciate you reaching out, like I said earlier. And it just makes my life a hell of a lot easier to schedule and get different people and get new voices, like I said. So I appreciate you coming on. Welcome to the show as always. Guys, you know where to follow us: YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, Twitter, and Instagram, Juventinita.dal. Please do that. Please smash the subscribe, thumbs up if you can. That always helps us, like I said, get new fans, get new guests, grow the Juventinita family. And it helps motivate me when I start losing it, and I feel like not necessarily posting any content. So definitely do that if you can. That would help me out a lot, and I greatly appreciate it. So as we always start with a new fan, we were talking a little bit before the show, how you became a Juve fan, plain and simple. Tell everyone, how you grew up, if it was heritage, if it's family connections. But go ahead, Maldini. Let us know your story.
Well, yeah. So, basically, it's comes from the family on my mom's side.
Awesome.
Half of her side loves Juventus, and that made me more inspired to like the team more. And I actually really liked it. I watched a couple of games. I started to like it in 2013 to 2012.
Nice.
Like starting to see Pogba play and Tevez and all those good players
Yeah,
during that time. And yeah,
yeah,
they
that was a
really
good time. That was a good time.
Pirlo was still playing, and yeah.
Yeah, that surprises me because I know you guys are younger, right? And not necessarily you don't know when you talk to a lot of younger kids online, you don't know, it's like, oh, are they here for Ronaldo, or are they here for this or that? But Dybala maybe. But it's good to hear that. Yeah, you were, I mean, sure, you came at a good time, uh a good time with some really talented teams, some really great players, but still kind of in a little bit of an era of still having to prove ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's good to hear. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
In terms of family, like you said, is there any family members who cheer for other teams, or you got any rivalries? And even
Oh, my
even even
brother.
oh, okay.
My brother is a Real Madrid fan. Well, let's just say he's a Ronaldo fan. So we used to have big fights who would win during the Champions League, and obviously, of course, Real Madrid was good in 2017 and the
Yep.
years past. So, yeah.
Yeah, I know it's been tough for us. They've kind of had our number a lot of these years, and even when we do beat them, then we run into someone else.
Yeah.
It's tough, and that's kind of why we brought in Ronaldo, and we'll get into that a little bit later on in the show. But
Hmm.
guys, again, thank you for all the support. Appreciate you coming on, Maldini, and yeah, just let us know. We're gonna throughout the show. You might hear me pop in and let you guys know. Yeah, let us know if you're here. Drop it in the comments. Uh, Tell us where you're from. Let me know what you liked about the show, what you like so far. And right now, we're gonna get into the news, or some facts that have been put out there. I mean, Sassuolo and Milan have 14 and 16 points respectively. Those are the two teams that only have or that are above us so far. But yeah, Milan's on a pretty good run so far, and that's going to be
Hmm.
interesting to see how it plays down the line. This past game, obviously against Spezia, was really important
Hmm.
in setting the right
Yeah.
foot. And yeah, I mean, Cristiano Ronaldo scored 5 Serie A goals in 214 minutes, and he only started 2 games. Phenomenal, what a beast! And I just want to get your thoughts on kind of the last game and how you saw it play out, just briefly. You don't have to get too detailed.
About the
Juve
on Saturday
Spezia.
on Sunday's game.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the problem with Juventus is their defense line. That's what I'm going to start with,
Sure.
because Pirlo does not need to put Danilo in that position. If he's playing a 3-4-1-2, then Danilo should not be playing there. He should at least put in either Chiellini or Delic with Demirlo and Bonucci.
Yeah.
And for the formation that he did with Sunday's game is he should have not put. I think he should have put in Alexandro, but I don't know the updates of. I think he's injured or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alexandro.
That's the problem, right? So you make good points. I agree
Hmm.
with you 100%. But
Hmm.
Chiellini, I don't think is going to be back
Yeah.
for a little bit, and same with Delict, and
Hmm.
same obviously with Alexandro. So
Alexandro.
unfortunately, we're kind of in a little bit of a shitty spot in terms of
Hmm.
trying to figure out who we are, but
Hmm.
also put out the best lineup, and then you have to put
Hmm.
on guys like obviously Quadrado, who I've been
Hmm.
really not a fan of
Well.
recently. Sure, he's been in a role that we've needed to, but we'll get into that a little bit later.
Hmm.
Obviously, in the press conference, or I believe Sport Mediaset reported that Pirlo, again, it's still early. I think tomorrow, after this podcast comes out,
Hmm.
we're going to get a better picture of what the lineup is going to be. But Sport Mediaset is reporting a 3-5-2 against Ferencvaros with Cristiano and
Hmm.
Morata up top. We'll have to see again how it plays out. But just to even admire, what happened with Cristiano on Sunday, excuse me. Belotti has 6 goals. Ibrahimovic has 7, and again, Ronaldo behind them with 5. And like I said, he's only played 214 minutes, where the other two have played well over 300. So it's going to be
Hmm.
an interesting race. I think we'll see how far Ibra can go. We'll see if he can maintain his pace. Same with Belotti. It is looking, though, like Cristiano is really putting a case forward to win the Capo Caraniere, which is the top goal scorer in Serie A. And we'll have to see. But
Hmm.
again, we'll get back into the news a little bit. Delict and Alexandro, like I said before, will both be available after the international break. So that is good to hear. They are kind of, unfortunately, we won't be able to get them
Hmm.
for this game in Champions League, but there's going to be a little bit of a break in between the home and away legs of the Ferencvaros as well as Dinamo Kiev, and then the final Barcelona game of the group. So definitely it's going to be nice to have them back, and hopefully
Hmm.
we'll be able to put some full strength lineups out there. But God, well, knock on wood. Hopefully there's no other big injuries that we have to deal with. and that's very good. But yeah, I agree with you when you're talking about the
Mhm.
defense. I think there's a major issue at Juve with how
Yeah.
we're setting up and how Pirlo. I think we're getting too complicated. We're overthinking things, and we just need to simplify it. And that's why
Mhm.
I like the just sticking with a forward formation, um,
Mhm.
forward to back formation throughout the whole game. And you know, once you press, if you lose the ball, head back or what? Because there's certain situations where they're catching us out, and our wingers or wing backs are not,
Progressing.
they're not doing what they're supposed to do, right? Like
Yeah.
they really have to keep the wings tight, and they have to
Yeah.
make
So
the
they can.
runs back and forth, right?
Mhm. Yeah, of course. They have to support the defensive line. That's why there's a lack of communication with the midfield and the defense. That's
Yeah,
what Pirlo, I think, is trying to fix up. But the strikers, I think they're trying to do their job.
yeah,
And yeah, but also Juventus has to look at the wages. Like, for instance, they should start buying more defenders for the team, world-class defenders, so that we can
yeah.
progress the defense. So whoever, like, say like Bonucci or somebody gets injured, they have a spare defense that's um right for the squad, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's why we've been having this big
So yeah,
problem of the three at the back, and that's why I never wanted to play it because we didn't have the depth.
mhm,
And then look, you get a couple,
mhm,
even when Delict we knew wasn't going to be in there, we still didn't really have a lot of cover. So and then Chiellini goes down, and then
yeah,
you have a scare with Bonucci, and that could really ruin the team. So that's why I never wanted to play it.
mhm,
And but I mean, Pirlo seems to
yeah,
be going to levit or revolving around that formation. So those formations. So we'll have to see what happens in the next game. I think, like I said, the Spezia game was good, but it wasn't great. There were some really good
because
things that we did,
yeah,
but I mean, sure, the score line looks better than what it says, but I think the defensive aspects were lacking. That we were making a lot of missteps, like we were in games
mhm,
previous to that. The only thing is when you have a guy like Cristiano Ronaldo who can step on within 3 minutes and score, that's kind of that's what's going to save your
disappointing.
ass. But
Yeah.
there's a silver lining to that. So we'll definitely talk about that. We've been talking about Bernardeschi leaving in January. Nicola
I hope he
Balice
does.
via elbianconero.com is reporting, as well as a lot of others have been mentioning that his entourage is going to be. Yeah, I agree, man. That they're really
I
pushing.
yeah, I don't like him. I personally, I didn't like him in the beginning, but he did some things good for Juventus during
Right.
Champions League. I think during the Atletico Madrid game, that he did really good that game. I think
Yep.
he showed his class, but
That was probably his best game.
now we don't really need Bernardeschi because we have Chiesa, we have Klozowski, we have good players now. I mean, we don't really need him. I think other teams could possibly use him on the wing side. Probably they want to buy Bernardeschi. He's still a young player, like he
Yeah,
could
I think
really
I think I
do
think we
some
should
good
be able to.
potential.
I think we should be able to find some buyers because I agree with you 100%. He's not in his 30s, so he still has years ahead of him, and I think he just needs a change of faces, change of places, and just go to a different atmosphere. I just think it's trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. It's just not going to work. And we've
Yeah.
tried him at so many different positions. To be honest, is just not work. That's why I almost wanted to get rid of him in this last window, but I guess the team couldn't, or they decided to keep him. I just, again, like you said, with Chiesa and Kulusevski, I don't understand why,
Yeah.
if you're going to bring in a guy
Yeah.
like Chiesa to still keep a wage bill and still have him on the books, doesn't really make sense to me. But whatever it is, what it is, hopefully we can get that done in January. That would be awesome, actually, if it could be get a permanent deal, even bring a little bit back in, whatever we can get. That would be awesome to hear, and would be a great job by the management. Also, Paulo Dybala's agent Jorge Antun stayed in Turin for several weeks, but he did not have any meeting with Juventus to talk about Dybala's extension. According to Radio Mercato, Antun has returned to Argentina, which means that the renewal is not imminent. And I believe that a lot of sources have been saying that it's been pushed back on the back burner for now. And that was obviously reported by Romeo Agresti. Yeah, it's been difficult for Dybala. I mean, sure, it's only been, 2-3 games, but way too much criticism, I think.
Yeah.
I don't understand how we think someone, who's been injured but who also wants to stay here, is really, taking all this brunt, getting scapegoated into not having the right players and not having, learning through a coach who has no experience. That's kind of I think what's happening, but we'll see what happens with this deal. I mean, it seems like it's been ongoing forever. Yes, we're gonna get a deal. Yes, we're gonna get a deal. Yes, we're gonna get a deal. If you listen to episode 50 with Al and James, we kind of went into it in depth, and I honestly I don't believe there's gonna be a deal in place, and I think they're gonna look to sell him to either balance the books or try and have another big plus Valenza swing. So again, so we can try and move forward, but it only takes some bad Champions League. Like, if this year's Champions League doesn't go as planned, the club again is going to be in another big hole to come out of. I think by the end of next June, and that's my opinion, guys. You take that what you will, but from what I've seen, we keep buying and no one's going.
Yeah.
All those loan deals are coming back, so really we're gonna have those wages plus the new guys we've signed, plus we're probably gonna try and add players, and there's only one way, but then again, there's been a lot of people talking about Cristiano Ronaldo and him signing an extension, and I just, to me, what's more intuitive is looking at the situation where, okay, we want to probably re-sign him in an instant, but does he still believe in the project? Like, if we get knocked out in the round of 16 or quarterfinals, does he even want to be here after next year? So that's a good question, I think, to ask. And I don't think it's a done deal, even if we did try and offer him something. I think if it's not going to go his way, even if he scores, even if he's top scorer, I still think he's going to want to win, and he's going to want a certain amount of additions. So I don't know what that's, especially with COVID. I mean, it's going to be tough. Like, next year still going to be affected. The year after still going to be affected. It's definitely throwing a wrench in everybody's plans. But what do you think about the Dybala situation, Maldeini?
Okay, well, I'm kind of a big fan of Dybala, to be honest with you.
Me
I
too.
really like him. I really seen him like not doing well past 2 games against Barcelona and this Sunday game. But I think there's still more time for him to improve in the game. There could be a chance for him to find his position. What I was thinking, I think Dybala should play more as a cam and work with Morata and Ronaldo forward. And the formation should be with the formation. He should change it if Pirlo thinks that way of Dybala. If he thinks Dybala could fit in the team, I think he would work as a cam forward with Ronaldo and Morata. That's what I'm thinking. And also,
I think that's interesting.
I hope they do. Yeah, I think they should. I hope they renew his contract. I don't want Dybala to leave. I know he struggles, but I think he's I think he's still a world class striker, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I think we need him to be at his best.
yeah,
I think two, I think there's lots of improvement. He needs more training. He needs to get fit. His fitness levels needs to get back up. And three, just needs some
yeah,
confidence. And I think even if, whether that be as a super sub, him coming on, I still think he's got to keep getting played. You can't have him missing too many games. Well, so even if it's decided that he's going to be a sub from now, for the next little while, I don't have a problem with that. The only thing I have a problem with that, and I agree with you, I think that would be a perfect kind of setup, but I think it's very difficult when you have the midfield you do and the wingers slash wingbacks you do. It's all nice to have the guys up top, but when there's no like, the problem I have with Dybala is there's really no kind of push from the mid or from the wingers to have some interplay in the offensive end.
mm,
What I see with Juve is Dybala always having to try and come further and further back, and we saw that with Allegri. That doesn't work. With Sadi, was a different story completely. And I don't know
yeah, you're
why
right.
I don't know why Pirlo's struggling to figure this out because it's been done. Um,
Mm,
so I mean, you look at one really bad season where everybody was shit, like Al was saying, and really a couple games. So what are we really? A lot of people like to just go way overboard, and I mean, like I said, Ronaldo fans getting a kick that Dybala isn't doing well is some of the dumbest things I've ever heard on Twitter. If you think that Ronaldo was the only person that was making Madrid win, and winning those finals, then you're on some kind of crack or some kind of drugs. Because literally, Juve needs a more balanced attack. All these Ronaldo fans will come out and say, yeah, but he scored all 7 knockout goals. Yeah, but we haven't won a Champions League. Like, it doesn't matter that he's scoring 7 goals. You have to have a balanced attack. You look at those Real Madrid teams, their midfields are really good and they contributed. They scored goals. The wingers, same thing. Fullback, same thing. Defender, same thing. We need a total effort. So for
yeah,
so for fans to somehow are like are dancing on his grave, so to speak, makes no sense. Do you want to win the Champions League or not? Like, I don't
yeah,
understand what kind of a fan and again, like, a lot of people come at me for saying, "Oh, you go at Ronaldo." I've acknowledged that Ronaldo's been fantastic for us. I acknowledge that he scores goals for us, but I also have a sensibility to say, you know what? Maybe it isn't important to sign his contract right away. Maybe it isn't important for the club because we have to move on financially. We have to get to a better place, and we have to build a team. I don't see a team. I see if Ronaldo fans thinking that Ronaldo is the go-to and we're gonna have to rely on Ronaldo, that's not winning us Jack. That's
yeah,
not win. He might win us the Scudetto, fine, but that's not winning us the Champions League because teams are gonna find that way out. And there's been multiple games where Cristiano's been put to sleep, put to bed,
yep.
and
Like the
basically
Ajax game.
phased out,
Yep.
and taken out of the game, and then you have nothing. So
Mm,
you have to play. You have to play with a team. We're not going to win by just giving him the ball. As great as he
yeah,
is, what we
yeah,
needed to do is have that clinical finisher, have that guy that we always rely on that we can score on, but also brings the team together. And I haven't seen
yeah.
that. And
You're right.
that's the most frustrating part, Maldini. I'm going on this little rant here, but like,
I
it's literally seems like it's happening every year. We get to a point where we're like, oh, Ronaldo, Ronaldo, Ronaldo. And Ronaldo, like I said, Ronaldo is maybe the best. I don't know. I would say Messi and him are pretty close. Whether you want to shit on me for that or not, I really could give a rat's ass. I think those are two of the best players right now. Then you have a whole other tier. but we have one of those players, and we still are not making strides. Well, where we've gotten in the first few years of his contract is not good enough. And it basically is because we're too reliant. And unfortunately, with COVID, that really puts a wrench in, because we can't just go on and be like, let's buy a defender, let's buy fullbacks, let's buy midfield, especially when we have the players we do that we can't sell. That's really tough. So again, we have to find a way that elevates the entire team.
Yeah.
And sure, was I happy that we won 4-1? Yes, extremely happy. Was I happy that Cristiano scored 2 goals? Yes, extremely happy. Was I happy that we needed such a reliance on one player just to beat a promotion team? No, not at all. Not at all. And that's just my predicament. I don't know. I think Pirlo really has to improve this team, his chemistry, the cohesion, or we're not going any. We're going to be in the same spot. We're going to be in the same. We couldn't beat an Ajax. We couldn't beat.
Right.
We couldn't beat
Couldn't
Lyon.
be Leon.
Like, I'm sorry, that's
No,
just not good enough.
come on, Leon is nothing.
That's not good.
This is even if he scored the second goal, Ronaldo was so mad because he knows inside of him that he's doing all the work. And where's the team? They don't want to win. Like Real Madrid, for instance, when he played at Real Madrid, the team wanted to win. They wanted the cup so bad, and they got it because they worked as a team. They didn't rely on Ronaldo all the time. Like even if Ronaldo was off, they still won the match. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh no, exactly. Because teams are going to plan for that. There might be teams that aren't as good, and he's going to score, but there's going to be teams that are good enough. The Bayerns, even I mean, Barcelona's not there, but the Man Cities. I don't know how we haven't gone up against these teams in a little while, so I don't want to say perfectly that they would, and then someone come back and be like, see, he said Man City in that video that would stop us, and then we run through them because they're perennial chokers, but.
Yeah,
There's lots of talented teams that could slow us down, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Like I'm saying right now that Juventus did not play good last year with Sarri's managerial. So he didn't really show much improvement for the team. He just showed the lack of what he can. Max Allegri continued, but Max Allegri was actually better than Sarri, and he did try to push Juventus forward against. I remember against Atletico Madrid, we dominated them. We didn't let them go through. We put our midfield to the test, and we came back.
Yeah.
And now we have Pirlo, and we have to think: is he the right man for the job? And as it says in One Football. Claudio Marquisio says Pirlo is the right man for the job. So he's getting there, but we gotta see what has to be changed.
He's just too stubborn. I think there's moments where he just he learned the subs this week. Okay, he finally did the subs correctly. But it's got to be a little bit quicker, because we're not going to, towards the end of the season, you're not going to be able to be learning, on the job. You got to just be getting it right. So we got to see what happens. Obviously, Vidal's made some comments, obviously, before their Champions League match against Madrid. And he was talking about Conte, saying that he wants to win more now than his Juve time. Those who say the opposite don't know him. What do you think about those comments? Do you agree with them or no?
Well, I can agree with him, but he's kind of right. I mean, his comments say, like, wait, can you repeat the comment that he said again?
So obviously he wants to win more now at Merda than he did in his Juve time. I mean, I think any coach, like I said, wants to win for their club because that's what essentially they're paid to do. Now you bring in a guy who's pretty fired up
Oh
all the
yeah,
time, and I think
yeah,
I think there was
yeah.
no
I
real
know.
issue. I think
Yeah,
there's no real issue in saying that.
yeah. I know. He he did good for Juventus, but not too good. But
Yeah,
he can't really say that about our team because you could see Inter like not doing as well as we
yeah,
are. But I mean, we beat them last year. I mean, like a couple of times we tied with them, but they really he Conte can't not really be talking about Juventus when he's working under Inter. Like I don't see the improvement for Inter. They lost in the Europa League
yeah.
finals against Sevilla, and I mean, so where's the winning there?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's extra motivation just because the way he's faced the backlash from the fans, and I can understand where Vidal's. I mean, it's not really anything I'd be surprised at. I don't think he's saying he wants to win more now because he's at Inter. Obviously, there's a big rivalry. I just think in general
Mm-hmm.
he wants to win and prove, the haters
Yeah.
wrong. There's a lot of people who've been saying that, he can't win. He got lucky. It was because he had this, the best back line, one of the best midfields,
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Yeah, they
during that
have
run
good
at
midfielders.
Juventus. So we'll have
Mm-hmm.
to wait and see what happens. See if put their money where their mouth is,
Yeah.
and we'll see what happens against Madrid. Those are going to be two big games
Yeah.
for Merda, and see if they go through it or they go crashing out. So we'll have to see,
Mm-hmm.
wait and see what happens. Obviously, David Alaba has been a big talking point. PSG, Juventus, Man City have all been linked, but apparently he wants to go
I hope he
to.
comes to Juventus.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a nice pickup. Real Madrid and Barcelona are also, hit places they say that he wants to go to. But again, transfer rumors are transfer rumors.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Locatelli remains at the top of the list for Juventus to reinforce the midfield in January. Nico Shira with the report on that one. And obviously, in terms of talking about the game against Spezia, Morata and Cristiano rated 7.5 each, were the best players, while Dybala 5 was the worst, according to Romeo Agresti. And we get into a couple kind of questions. So you say in terms of Quadrado, uh, Dybala, we've kind of touched on those already. The formation we've kind of touched on already. Um, but what do you think about us progressing in the group against these teams? Obviously, we've lost to Barcelona already, but what are your thoughts on us progressing? Are we going to get the second spot? Do you still believe we can get the first spot? What are your thoughts, Maldini?
I think what I think is we're gonna stay in second place, but there is a chance we could beat Barcelona if we play the way we want to play, the way that Pirlo would teach them to play,
Yeah,
the way that they want to win as a team, not just rely on Cristiano Ronaldo,
right.
like as shown against the Barca game a few times. But I'm kind of mad at the referee for allowing those offsides to go. Like, come on, that was okay. The first one was a handball, but
Yeah,
the other two, like that was not offside. I'm I'm kind of I'm kind of very upset with the referee making those two calls. I think Morata should have had at least a goal or
yeah,
something, but it is what it is. I mean, we move on. We
yeah.
still have another chance to play against them. But yeah, I think we're gonna be second or first place. We could go up and but I for sure know we're gonna make this group stage and not get out. Hopefully,
Yeah, I think it's like
yeah.
you said, it's definitely possible. Next three games are going to be really proving points. Barcelona also drew on the weekend, if you guys
Mm-hmm.
didn't know. So again,
Yeah,
it's
I saw that.
nothing's guaranteed.
Yeah.
And the last game against Barcelona is, I think, essentially going to be for the group. Hopefully, we spark these next three. Obviously, Ferencvaros home and away, or away and then home, excuse me, and then Dinamo Kiev is at home as well. And then we go obviously to the Camp Nou in Barcelona. So I mean, I still believe we got a chance to get that numbers
Yeah.
one spot. I think Barcelona isn't playing at the level that they probably want to, even though they did get the win, and I think they did get a dominating win. I'm not gonna take away the effort they put in. They could have had at least 3, 4, 5 extra goals. I think that
Mhm.
they blew away some stupid thoughts where some of their players had the ball for a little bit too long, where they probably could have just buried it and scored. And again, so it goes both ways. You know, the offsides, sure, they were offsides by the letter of the law, by VAR, by the ruling.
Mhm.
I think in terms of this offside, we just need to go back to letting the ref be the true judge, or the linesman being the true judge of what's going on. Let's get into. We kind of did talk about the last game. Obviously, Pirlo still wants to go as a back three, and the team, I think, still has a long way to go. Like we said, way too reliant on Ronaldo and need the team to contribute a lot more. So that
Yeah.
individual brilliance and motivation will only go so far. And we get to see how far that goes in the Juve-Ferencvaros game. That's going to be at the Puskás Arena in Budapest, Hungary on November 4th, which is this Wednesday, guys. I believe it's going to be a 9 p.m. game, CAST, 1 p.m. Mountain, 11 a.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern time. We get Juve's record, obviously in Champions League, of 1-0-1 with 3 points, obviously in second place. And Ferencvaros is 0-1-1 with 1 point. Obviously, in the first game, they lost 5-1 to Barcelona. And in the second game, they drew 2-2 to Dinamo Kiev, scoring in the 90th minute as well to tie that one by Frank Boldy, who's apparently, I don't know if they want to call him a super sub, but he's doing really well for their squad. Top scorer for us is obviously Ronaldo, 5 goals, which is funny. He still hasn't scored in Champions League yet because he hasn't played in Champions League. And Ferencvaros says top scorer is 3 players tied on 1 goal. So let's get into their form. Well, for us, it's kind of straightforward: draw, win, draw, loss, and our last win. For Ferencvaros, not a bad, obviously 2 draws in a row, one being against Dinamo Kiev and one being in the Hungarian league. But win, loss, win, draw, draw. For us, let's look at the injuries though. Chiellini, Delict, Alexandro, I don't think are going to have any contribution. But again, as the day, maybe there's a development where Chiellini could slot into the bench or maybe even starts. I'm not sure. But again, Demiral won't be there. He got a red card in the game against
Yep.
Barcelona, and he's not going to be able to play. Ferencvaros has a couple players injured: Amar Ramadan and Andras Tsonka. They won't have those 2 players, but I don't believe they've had them in the previous games. Just looking at their lineup that I've seen before. But again, like I said, 3-5-2 is going to be the lineup, according to what's been a couple of early reports so far. So I took it upon us to see how we thought we would line up. I think it's going to be interesting, to say the least, of who's going to get the start. If it is going to be a 3-5-2, does that mean that that Cuadrado is not going to play, or does that mean Kulusevski, I'm assuming he's going to be on the bench, because you're going to get Chiesa on the right side, and then obviously Cuadrado on the left of that 3-5-2. You'll have Danilo, Bonucci, and I'm assuming Frabotta would come in. I think that's the only way that we could really swing that. Or we could get Danilo going on the left, and kind of put Cuadrado on the
Right.
Cuadrado on the right and Danilo on the left hand side and but yeah, to me, I think unless you're getting any reinforcement, you're gonna have to bring Frabotta in. There's no way
Yeah.
around it. And then for the midfield, well, does that mean McKennie's gonna get a run out because he adds a little bit of that defensive ball winning mentality, and hopefully he can uh, protect per se or he can help out on the defensive end as well as allowing for our wing backs to go and help in the attack possible. Artur and Rabiot, I think, are going to get the call. Maybe Benton, because Bentancur just started, so I don't see him starting in this game, but you never know. Obviously, Morata, Cristiano up top. And we'll have to, again, guys, we'll have to wait and see for more details. Again, you'll probably know more than what we're talking about now. Again, it's always perspective. For Ferencvaros, 4-1-4-1. Debush in goal, Heister, Kovacevic, Blazic, Lovrenzik, Somalia as their, I would assume, their CDM. Nguyen, Seeger, Zubkov, Karatin, and Isail as their lone striker up top. So interesting formation. We'll have to see. We'll have to see how we play against Ferencvaros. But let's get into what are your thoughts on the formation, Maldini? Do you have an idea of how you want us to line up? Do you want us to line up in a 4-4-2 where maybe it is Danilo, Bonucci, Frabotta, or vice versa, and then
I
Cuadrado on the
mean,
right, and then maybe you have Kulusevski
Chiesa.
and Chiesa, or
Yeah, I
how do you
like
see it?
Chiesa. Chiesa plays good on that right side, and I would put Uther in and McKinney and Rabiot.
Okay.
And on the left side, I would definitely put Quadrado if he plays good. And then the three center backs, as you said, Danilo, Bonucci, and Barbosa. And of course, we could put in Morata and Ronaldo as the main strikers. I think that's a good formation. Um, Dybala would be a super sub for Morata if he doesn't do
Yeah.
that good. Yeah. Kulusevski would be a good sub for Chiesa. And yeah, I think the formation is good as it is. But if Pirlo changes it, that's if he does the 4-3. I think it's a 4-3-3. If he
Yeah.
does that,
Oh, I wish.
three, yeah,
I wish, man.
yeah,
I
he could
wish.
do that. I think that's a good formation too.
Well,
Putting the
because
new, yeah,
even if you
yeah,
do see, and I know a lot of people are gonna ask, well, why didn't you put Ramsey and why didn't you put Ramsey in? I just think
I don't
because
like Ramsey.
well, see, I don't mind Ramsey, especially when he's healthy, because he can make good runs and he provides some pretty good energy. Now, I heard he wasn't that fit, according to that last
Mm,
interview that I had on my previous podcast. That they
Yeah.
were saying that he was only he wasn't even really 50%. So I'm not sure what's the issue, but in terms of having Rabiot or having Ramsey, you're losing a little bit because he's going to be in the offensive end. So now you're going to have to, without having
Mm,
McKennie, and then you're going to want to have Rabiot and Artur kind of roaming up and down, and kind of connecting the defense to the attack. I don't see, without having McKennie on the pitch, you're losing that kind of support that the
mm,
defense is going to need. So that's the only reason maybe why I wouldn't. I don't have anything against playing Ramsey, but you're kind of
mhm,
losing. You're kind of losing a little bit without having him on the field.
mm,
Let's get into the keys of the match. Keys to the match, excuse me. I think it's quite simple. As always, high intensity and pressing from the beginning of the game. We need to really try and win the balls back and capitalize on Ferencvaros' mistakes. And I think if we can do
mm,
that for the most part and actually show that we're having effort in this game, we can, crack a couple goals in against a team that uh, isn't I would say, the best competition for us, but
Mm,
saying that in the past has done a great deal. But what do you think, Maldini?
mm.
Some of the keys for us to win this game on Wednesday.
I think the midfield has to put all their effort into the game to
Yeah, true.
actually provide the goals. I mean, the crosses and the through balls to Ronaldo and Morata. And I also about the formation. The reason why Pirlo doesn't do a 4-3-3, I think it's because of Morata.
Oh,
Where is
okay.
he going to put Morata? That's the real question, because you're having Ronaldo as a striker, you have Chiesa, you're going to put Dybala probably on the left wing side, and Morata's not going to go anywhere and fit because he plays as striker. And then if
True.
you sub Ronaldo out, you're not going to have that potential goal scoring. So, I mean, that's one situation with the formation, but it's what Pirlo thinks is best. Then they could
Yeah.
win. But for the key things is the midfield. We have to watch the midfield, and we have to see if they are showing their contribution with the defense line,
Yeah.
because if they don't show their what's it called? If they don't show that they want to win, the defense is going to fail and the midfield's going to fail, and that's when we start to lose the ball and getting possession for the players, and we start to lose lack, and that's when the team starts to fail, is when we don't show we want the verbal communication with each other. And that's why I think Juventus fails a lot, because we don't show that we want to win. We're just saying, oh, look, this team is coming
Yeah.
in, this is nothing. We're gonna play like how we would train, And it's true, you play how you train, but you also have to think, what if we lose? That is what Juventus does not. The team does not think about that. They don't care. They don't want to think about it. They just want to go with the flow. Whoever gets the ball, we have to get possession. And with the other coaches, I mean, in the past, Max Allegri and Sarri, they always played defensive. Pirlo is more playing tactic, where he wants to play the midfield forward and play more attacking. And that's where the midfield comes in the problem of providing the ball to the strikers and them themselves play as an attack, so they can get the possession of the ball more forward than back. So
Yeah.
that's what I think.
Yeah, I think you got a lot of great points in there, and I think, like you said, there has to be a level of awareness, knowing what kind of subs we have. The defenders are going to have to be very careful,
Very careful. Yeah, exactly. They have
because
to
we're
be
not going
more
to have any
focused.
we're not going to have any replacements on the bench.
Mm,
And
yep.
that's something they can look the other team could look to exploit. And I think
Yep.
that, like you said, we're gonna have to have some help from the midfield if we're gonna get Quadrado and Chiesa bombing up the wings. They're gonna have to realize that if we do lose a ball, we have to be positionally aware of who's gonna be covering who, because we could
Yeah.
easily get countered, like we've seen
Mm.
multiple
In
times.
Barcelona.
Multiple
Yeah, in
times.
Barcelona, definitely. The way I saw they played against Barcelona, they weren't even covering Dembele. He was open. He was
Yeah.
literally waiting for the shot to come. He saw nobody on him. He took his chance and he got the goal. Like, Juventus has to look.
Yeah.
If they don't look at the player that's not open, like, and there's no way you guys are gonna get the possession of the ball if you don't
Yeah.
do that. And same with the passing. They pass to the players really close, that like close to the opponent of the other team can get the ball. If you see somebody open, cross it. through ball it, hit it to them that you see that's open, not when somebody's on you. That's also another problem with Juventus, because when they play, when they pass the ball to their teammates, they don't see the opportunity of other players being open.
Yeah,
They
I
always want
agree.
to play really close to each other. So that's another problem I think Pirlo needs to work on with that. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I
that's
think
what I think.
even looking in previous games where Kulusevski and Dybala were right, like their heat map and their average position was like really close to each other. So I think there's lots to improve
Yeah.
on. We'll see what happens. I want to now finally get into the prediction, obviously, of the game. So I'm gonna let I always, uh, respectfully let the guests go first. And
Okay.
what do you think? What do you think the prediction of Juve-Ferencvaros on the road, November 4th? What do you think the score, and who do you think the goal scorers are? If you do think they're going to be, if there is going to be goals.
I think it's gonna be 4-0 Juventus.
Damn.
Ronaldo's gonna score 2 goals. Probably Morata can score another 2, or midfield can come up and probably score. Rabiot is potential to score. I've seen him do really good.
Nice.
Probably Chiesa. Hopefully he can score, not miss the net like he always does.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's gonna be 4-0.
Awesome. Well, I go a little bit less. I'm going to go 3-0. CR7, two
I think
goals,
3-0. Yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
Morata with 1. And I think, yeah, it's going to be a pretty dominant performance. I did, though, say that we were going to, in the 50th episode, I asked the guys, how many points do you think you're going to get in the end of, in all of November? And I said, 16 out of 18, which would mean we drew one of the games. And I did think that this would be kind of uh, a game where we don't necessarily are paying too much attention. We kind of slips under the radar. But I think now that Ronaldo's back, I think that's not going to be a question. Maybe the home game is the game we draw. But I mean, hey, if we can get 18 points out of 18, I'll be happy. Uh,
Yeah.
that I won't be complaining about at all. So hopefully by that time, yeah, that would put us in a really great spot. But um, I want to say we get into our last segment, Maldini, and I know you're a little bit of a newer fan, but that's fine. I think like you said, 2012, 2013, those are still a lot of great years that you're able to witness. So I'm not sure if you've been to Torino yet, or if you've been to the stadium yet. I would say
I
no.
wish.
Yeah.
I wish.
So usually I like to talk about, match day experience, or, the time they've met a player, or, maybe watch the game in the US or whatnot. But for you and for, quite a few of other guys, I mean, you got to get pretty lucky, and it's a privilege that I was able to go to Turin once, to say the least. But I definitely want to go back as soon as I can. But for you, what is your most memorable Juve moment that really brings you back? When you think of uh, the years you've been supporting, what's something that comes to your head right away? Kind of explain, where you were, maybe where you're watching it, and what the
Um,
moment is.
uh, to be honest with you, it was the Atletico Madrid game against Juventus.
Fair enough.
That
Yeah.
was the best game. I was ready to see Ronaldo score. Um, I would usually sit in the living room, get ready, put my jersey on, and I was really hoping that we don't screw up and actually can win this match. And what I saw, I was very happy, and I was just in the moment,
Yeah.
like seeing Ronaldo do that in his very late age, like he's very old age, 30, I think he's 35 that time, and he did really good. I mean, I was surprised that he could score a hat trick against Atletico Madrid another time.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So
It was
yeah,
unreal, man. And
yeah,
I just could, yeah, like you said, it was so surreal to be in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And even just to think, it almost like it was destiny. It seemed like Atletico Madrid wasn't there like at all. Like they were just like not even in the stadium. It was like I could not believe it. And I've watched Atletico Madrid and it wasn't they're kind of my second team and I'm just like these guys are not doing anything. And I was shocked. I could not believe what was happening, and yeah, it was just like holy shit. We scored the first two goals, and you're like, no way, like this is just not gonna happen. And then we get that penalty, and
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah.
I lost it. I was like, holy shit, like how are we doing this? We're going through. And then unfortunately we had to witness what happened against Ajax. But I mean, no,
That was a
it just
bold one.
in the moment. I mean,
Yeah.
unreal.
I was very mad at that game. Ronaldo did score a header. He did score a flying header the
Yeah.
first match. But also, come on, guys. You guys had to mess up the second half and let them score. I was
Well,
really mad.
you
The
look in
tie
the
of 1-1.
you look in the second game. Um, is that the game you're talking about, or you're talking about
The
the?
first, the first one, the first
Well, you
match.
look in the second game. They were blowing us out of the water, man. Like they could have had.
Yeah,
They countered us so well
yeah,
that they could have had 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
mm,
8 more goals. Um, like it was literally chance after chance, and I'm surprised the score line stayed at what it did.
mm,
And only us being knocked out by essentially one goal, right? Because I think
mm.
it was 1-1, and then it was 2-1.
Yeah.
Um,
Then 2-2.
yeah, so just
Yeah, and then 3-2.
yeah. So
Mm.
I think yeah, it's crazy that aggregate was only 3-2, but the chances they had and just how we played was just horrendous, man.
Yeah, it was terrible.
We did not deserve to go through at all.
Yeah,
And I
I
can
know.
honestly say that I have no qualms about telling our team when we played like crap. If we play like crap, we play like crap. There's no sugarcoating it, right? But
Mm.
anyways, I appreciate you telling your story. I appreciate you coming on the show. We are gonna wrap it up now, and I hope you guys can enjoy this game on Wednesday. And
Yep.
I hope you guys have stuck it out till the end here, and we're able to hear his favorite moment and hear our thoughts on the game on Wednesday. But Maldini, thank you for coming on. Definitely gonna have you back on whenever you ask, and whenever we get a spot open for you,
Yeah, hopefully.
if you so happen to want to. And
Yeah, of course I do.
yeah, I know for sure. We'll definitely get you on, and I appreciate you coming on, even though it's probably getting late there in Ontario. And I appreciate all you guys.
Yeah.
That's one thing I appreciate you guys
Mm.
making time for the podcast for me, and obviously for the guests or for the viewers as well, because they get to view great content all the time with new guests or familiar
Mm.
faces. And yeah, guys, thank you for all the support as always. As usual, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Juventinita, DAL, or personally at Daniel Negro. I don't know why that account still keeps growing like crazy, but you guys seem to be following it. That's why I've posted multiple times. This is the same guy. Please, follow both. But so we got a little bit of catching up to do. But again, on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, please subscribe and follow. That would help me up so much, and getting us to the next level, and the merch coming out, and some pretty cool drops that I've seen that are in the works, and talking to certain people that they might actually get involved. And yeah, it's coming together. And yeah, this draw will definitely happen at some point for this jersey sooner or later. I keep saying it. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Um, I got the retweet picker ready to go. I just have to line up some time to do the video. Tonight's gonna be possibly another podcast coming up after this. And once we catch our breath, then we'll definitely be able to give that out to someone. I do want to give it out. I don't want to just be keep harping on this and not give it out. So guys, if you
Are you
guys could,
giving out a jersey?
yeah, so I have a 2009-10 Del Piero home jersey, and I dropped at around 400 followers. So definitely, guys, we're going to be doing some more drops as well when we can, and we hit some more milestones. And yeah, let's get up to 500,
I
600.
hope I win that.
Yeah, man. Just keep if we get some more the bigger following, and same with YouTube, right? We got to hit 100 first, I think, and keep going on from there, and then hopefully we can hit 1,000, and just keep on grinding, keep on putting out content. And yeah, guys, thank you for watching. I hope you were able to get to this part, like I said before. And as always, fino alla fine. Forza Juventus. Ciao, guys.